Now, bureaucrats and their supersized salaries. Today's resignation of Australia Post CEO Ahmed Fahour follows years of public outrage over his huge pay packet. But he's not the only public servant raking in millions.
These people are just fat cats.
They're the public servants earning salaries that'll make you sick.
We all should be outraged because our taxes are paying for these people.
With benefits you won't believe.
How long's that rot been around?
Even the architect of last year's census fiasco...
Mr Kalish, will you resign?
Look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do it.
...earns more money than our PM.
Shouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't have a job for me. I wouldn't employ him if you screwed up like that.
Money for nothing and your cheeks for free.
So now we're conducting our own census, the old-fashioned way, door to door, to find out if Australians think these salaries are fair.
G'day. I'm from a Current Affairs Bureau of Statistics. How are you today?
Good, mate. How are you?
Unlike the real one, our census has a running budget of about $37 to cover petrol and props. And you'll be pleased to know not a single cent comes from your taxes.
We're here today to do a census of fat cat salaries.
First up, Rosie, a 65-year-old pensioner.
Do you know who this person is?
I don't recognise the face, no.
That face is David Kalish, the head of the Australian Bureau of Statistics. Before last year's census, he was pretty confident everything was in order.
We have no sense of chaos here. We've been planning this for years.
But then the whole system crashed. His boss, the Prime Minister, got angry.
I'm not happy about it. None of us are. We're very disappointed.
And David Kalish was forced to apologise.
The ABS made a number of poor judgments in our preparation for the census, and I apologise to the community.
So how much does this bureaucrat get paid to oversee this sorry mess? $700,000.
Do you think he warrants that salary?
No, nowhere near that salary. The man has to structure a census once every 4 years. And the last one was an absolute debacle. If my mechanic makes a mistake, he doesn't get paid. What about this fellow?
But our chief statistician doesn't even make the top 10 of our highest paid government workers. Sitting at number 2 is the boss of the National Broadband Network, Bill Morrow.
He's earning $3.6 million a year.
Oh, really?
Really?
Well, where's mine? It's not here.
You haven't got the NBN here yet?
No, and once again, that seems to be another fiasco.
I want money.
That's rude. It's obscene.
A few streets away, Shane Crew runs his own sign-writing business.
Have you got the NBN here?
No.
Not yet?
No.
Hasn't quite made it?
No.
He finds it hard to believe that rolling out a broadband network warrants a salary 6 times higher than the Prime Minister.
I just don't understand how they can justify. I don't know how they can sleep at night, quite frankly.
We keep our census moving and the shocks keep on coming.
Guess how much he earns?
How much?
$3 million.
That's ridiculous. A year.
Yes.
That's insane.
NBN employees fill 5 of the top 10 rankings in the public sector's Millionaires Club. 3 unnamed employees working for the Future Fund also make the list.
So $3 million right there, and we don't even know who they are.
What's the story? This is wrong. Incredibly wrong.
Then there are the heads of government departments. The Secretary of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet earns $861,000. The head of Human Services, overseeing Centrelink and Medicare, pulls in $730,000.
Once again, more than the Prime Minister. You know, he's got a country to manage. She's just got staff to manage. That's just silly.
To help entice senior bureaucrats to move to Canberra, some of them get their kids' private school fees paid and even the stamp duty on a new home.
You earn $1 million a year, you get the stamp duty on your house paid, you get your private school fees paid. How long's that rot been around?
Finance guru Ross Greenwood believes bureaucrat benefits are spiralling out of control.
Is it really a case that Canberra is such a tough place to live that you've got to pay these people massive allowances to go there? I'm not 100% certain it's that tough living in Canberra.
No, they shouldn't be allowed to do it. It's like anyone else. You apply for a job, that job is in another city. It's up to you to move.
Pauline Hanson is one senator who wants to see fat cat salaries slashed.
It's just over the top. It is absolutely ridiculous. These bureaucrats have to be reined in.
Back to our own census on the streets of Logan, south of Brisbane.
Hello, I'm from the Current Affairs Bureau of Statistics. How are you?
And we find yet another disillusioned small business owner.
We're working hard, trying to get ahead and being taxed to death to pay for these people.
Darren Black is a locksmith and the NBN is just being laid in his street.
Do you think this guy deserves his $3 million a year?
No, definitely not, because it's a service that has taken too long.
He finds it hard to believe there isn't more community anger about these exorbitant government wages.
We're schmucks, really. We're really schmucks. It's been like this for 20 years. Both parties have been in power several times, but no one's done anything about it.
But there's one fat cat who sits at the top of the heap, Ahmed Fahor, who until today was the boss of Australia Post.
I think organisations always need to be lean.
He likes his organisation lean and his salary fat. So big, he'd rather not talk about it.
What is your salary? It's public figure, I know.
Yeah, it's in the papers and in the annual reports and so forth.
No, it wasn't, Ahmed. His salary was kept a secret for a few years until a recent Senate committee decided the public deserved to know. With super and bonuses, it adds up to $5.6 million.
He should be a ruler of a small country. You know, that's just obscene amount of money. What can one person do with that?
That's $100,000 a week. 100 grand a week.
That's more than I earned in a whole year while I was in the working class.
To give you an idea of the astronomical scale of this salary, the head of the US Postal Service oversees 12 times more staff than Australia Post, but earns 8 times less than Fahor at 540 grand.
He's the guy who's wanted the cost of a postage stamp doubled because there's no profit margins in snail mail. He hates snail mail.
Sorry, but
He's the head of Australia Post.
I hate his income. So we're even. Nice to meet you.
Most Australians will tell you their experience with posting or receiving a letter these days doesn't warrant such a massive paycheck.
If I was to do that to my clients, put up my price, lower the service, I wouldn't be here in a week.
So as far as I'm concerned, he's not worth a penny.
Definitely not. They leave those little notes in your letterbox saying that they can't deliver your package when they haven't even come to your door.
The Prime Minister finally stepped in on this one, calling it too high and asking the board to review it. And today, Ahmed Fahor fell on his sword.
I know some of you think that the recent discussions about my pay may have precipitated this. That is completely not true.
The people we spoke to hope it's the first of many.
Because it is our money, and they're just not worth it.
People will not accept it. I don't accept it, and I think it's disgraceful.
Not surprisingly, Australia Post's chairman says that its next CEO can expect a pay cut.
The boss of Australia Post has quit a fortnight after the Prime Minister said his $5.6 million salary was too high. Ahmed Fahor says his resignation, which came on the same day the business revealed a big profit increase, wasn't the result of political pressure.
Ahmed Fahor's $5.6 million pay packet has received criticism from the very top down. Malcolm Turnbull, who earns a tenth of that, said it was far too much and way outside community expectation. But while announcing his resignation, Mr Fahor delivered a parting blow.
This is a very large organisation with a very large footprint. It's fair to say it's a little bit more complex than running a fish and chip shop.
Other politicians may dispute that. What isn't in question, though, is that the 50-year-old turned Australia Post around, recording impressive profits. Despite that, he says it's time to go and claims the decision was his own.
I know some of you think that the recent discussions about my pay may have precipitated this. That is completely not true.
Mr Fahor earns more in a week than the average worker earns in a year, taking home more than $21,000 every day. Although the chairman of the Australia Post board, John Stanhope, admits the next person to step into the role won't get the same salary.
I don't think there is any likelihood that the future CEO of this company will get paid the same amount of money, right? Because community expectations have changed.
From here, Ahmed Fahour will formally step down in July, but wouldn't elaborate on what's in store next for his career. No doubt he can now afford to spend more time with his family. Michael Scanlon, 7 News.